Welcome to On the Origin of Legendary Species, a series dedicated to the study of creatures born from myth, folklore, fantasy, and imagination. Each episode, we examine a single legendary being, its origins, its traits, its enemies, and the cultural forces that shaped its legend. From ancient gods and dragons to cryptids, monsters, and icons of modern fiction, this is a natural history of the unreal. Some monsters lurk in darkness, some stalk the depths, and some, like the Nuckelavee, slither between land and sea, defying nature and nightmare alike. Tonight, we explore one of the most harrowing beings of Scottish folklore. The Nuckelavee originates in the folklore of the Orkney Islands, a remote archipelago of northern Scotland. These islands, battered by storms, surrounded by treacherous seas, have long inspired tales of spirits, giants, and unspeakable creatures. The Nuckelavee is classified within that tradition as a maritime night monster, a chorister of pestilence and terror, blending sea creature, demon, and old human fear into one grotesque form. And like water spirits tied to fertility or bounty, the Nuckelavee brings destruction, crop blight, livestock death, epidemics, and madness. It is a creature of curse, not blessing, a dark reflection of the harsh environment that birthed it. What makes the Nuckelavee truly horrifying is not just its size, but its anatomy. It has no skin. According to witnesses and traditional accounts, its muscles and veins are exposed, glistening, pulsing. Black blood runs visibly beneath sinew and bone. Its breath is said to wilt grass and sicken livestock. A single wisp of its exhalation can poison crops. The creature's back includes a dorsal hump-like shell, and attached to this is a rider with a ghastly human shape. Together, they blur the lines between beast and spectre, man and monster combined as one. Its gait is clumsy yet unnervingly fast, slithering from shoreline to moor, leaving death and desolation in its wake. Unlike many legendary predators that stalk prey, the Nuckelavee seems to embody environmental calamity itself. It is most active during unseasonal weather, droughts, or pestilence, times when fear already lurks in the hearts of islanders. Stories tell of fields turning to dust at its passing, livestock dropping over mid-pasture, children falling ill after its footprints cross the village green. Notably, the Nuckelavee cannot cross fresh water. Lochs and streams act as barriers, a rare vulnerability in an otherwise unstoppable force of nature. For this reason, natives often sought refuge near springs or rivers during sightings, believing the creature bound to salt water and marshland. In some accounts, entire villages fled inland after catching glimpses, a massive, skeletal shape rising from the surf at dusk, horned and screaming, its rider staring blankly into the dying light. And like cryptids described in modern media, the Nuckelavee's sightings come from oral tradition, passed down by generations of Orcadians. Some of the earliest collected accounts were recorded in late 19th century folklore anthologies. One tale tells of a farmer who saw the Nuckelavee stride from sea foam at dawn, its form so hideous that his cattle dropped dead merely by sight alone. Another speaks of a healer who survived the monster only by leading it across a freshwater creek. Though these are not documented in the scientific sense, they serve as consistent narrative evidence, not of the creature's literal existence, but of its enduring place in cultural memory. The Nuckelavee is unique, but it shares thematic threads with other legendary beings: Kelby, Scotland, an aquatic shapeshifter that lures riders to drown, the predator of deception; Grindilo, England, water demons pulling children into marshes, child-focused danger; Jormungandr, Norse, a sea serpent embodying apocalyptic threat. And like these, the Nuckelavee blends land and sea, spirit and beast, plague and predator. It is less a hunter of flesh and more a harbinger of ruin, a creature that embodies misfortune. itself rather than individual predation, the Nuckelavee survives because it represents something primal, the fear that nature itself can turn hostile. In harsh environments where crops fail and seas rage, stories of unstoppable beasts reflect real anxieties. It is symbolic of uncontrolled elements, environmental disaster, the thin line between life and survival in the taxonomy of legendary species. The Nuckelavee is not an apex predator in the biological sense. It is a cataclysmic force of nature, a monstrous embodiment of fear, famine, and the fury of the wild. To encounter it in story is to confront the idea that sometimes the world itself becomes the monster. Some creatures stalk prey, some are humans, and some, like the Nuckelavee, remind us that the greatest monsters can be the untamed world itself. In the study of legendary species, it tells us fear is not just about what hunts us, but about what we cannot control. You've been listening to On the Origin of Legendary Species. If you enjoyed this episode, consider subscribing and exploring our collections, from dragons and cryptids to gods, demons, and creatures of science fiction. New episodes are released weekly, each examining a single legendary species in depth. Until next time, remember, legends do not disappear, they evolve.